going on, Jerome? So funny anecdote. So my middle son, Rocco, he is just learning to ride a bike. And he's riding his older sister's hand-me-down bike. So it is a frozen bike with pink training wheels and like the frillies off of the handlebars and stuff. And Rocco's going to be the social butterfly of the family. He's running for mayor and Congress wherever he goes. He's kissing hands and shaking babies. Wait, no, other way around. So there's some older kids in the neighborhood, and he's riding his bike up and down the street, and then he pulls up to these kids who are just playing in the yard, and he's like, "What up, dudes?" on his frozen bike. I just love that kid. I wonder where he gets it. So I also wonder where some idiot jabronians get their quarterback rankings, because I don't know. There's so many bad ones out there. So I felt like we have to branch out. And also we have to fire up power rankings this week. We'll do that sometime. But this is the most accurate NFL quarterback power rankings in the known universe. And if you disagree with any single one of them, you are wrong. How does it feel? So we rank 35 because there's some quarterback rooms where it's going to be a two-headed monster. TBD who wins the job, including the Vikings. Now, we could have gone the cowardice route and not ranked rookies, be like, oh, they haven't proved anything yet. Baloney. So our criteria is this. What quarterback do you want for one season? One season. So not one game, not the future, not blah, 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 not what have you done. What can you do for 1 year? And then we'll go from there. So up at the top, actually, we'll start from the bottom now here, but we know. I mean, Mahomes is one, so whatever. Starting at the bottom, 35, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones might be the worst quarterback in the NFL. And I don't care that he was hurt. He wasn't hurt when he got his money. But also, I feel like, did Ed Donishell get part of Daniel Jones' 4-year, $160 million contract? Did he get a little kickback and just like, hey, Daniel Jones, I will let you put up 431 and 31 points on my defense, and you get paid. Please. 34. Bo Nix. I know all the training camp reports. Oh, Bo Nix has had a schedule. Oh, Bo Nix has that velocity. Oh, Bo knows. We'll see. I don't mind the kid. I just think that stupid ass Sean Payton is not going to work well with him. That's all. That's all, man. 33. Speaking of quarterbacks that don't work well with stupid ass Sean Payton, the corpse of Russell Wilson, the leftovers, Steel Country, let's smelt. No. 32. So Will Levis. I know that he's going to have a decent offensive line put in front of him because of Bill Callahan, but I don't know, man. Like, I know that he had some big-time offensive outputs before and also was part of that major comeback against the Dolphins. Fully understand that, but I just don't see it with Levis. I just really don't. 31, Derek Carr. Derek Carr is exactly who the media wanted you to think Kirk Cousins was for many years. I don't trust him. The Saints would have had a better chance to win last year if Jameis was starting quarterback. I truly believe that. But Derek Carr, not so much. 30, Bryce Young. I want to believe in Bryce Young, except I can't. And I know that he's very talent bereft around him in Carolina. And I know if you put him in a perfect situation, maybe he could dial things up. But so I'm not a height snob. But I just think at the end of the day, like, it's too much of a negative for him. I don't see him having a Drew Brees career. I don't even see him having like a Kyler Murray type career. But we'll see. Next up, 29, Justin Fields. So again, I want to believe in Justin Fields, but his athleticism is fantastic. He frankly is one of the best running quarterbacks in NFL history. But consistency, accuracy, footwork, it just is not there, and I don't see it coming together necessarily with Arthur Smith in Pittsburgh. But again, these are rankings of who do you want for 1 year? Nah. 28, Gardner Minshew with the Raiders. Now, this would be a little bit higher, but I feel like Minshew magic like sort of runs thin. I think defenses do catch up to him. I think that he's moxie. He does have the moxie. He does have a fiery competitive attitude. I just think, again, I'm not an arm strength merchant. I just think that Minshew just doesn't check the box enough. 27, Jaden Daniels, Washington. I mean, Jaden Daniels has a chance to be a lot of fun this season with the Commies. Where does he have a good offensive line? No, but also could that mean that he means that he runs and scrambles more? Yes, and yeah, there's always durability concerns with mobile quarterbacks, but I feel like Daniels going to put up a lot of highlight reel runs and a couple of throws to Scary Terry, and then the Commies are going to go like 4 and how many games we play now? 4-13, nailed it. 26. Drake May, the Patriots. So May's kind of in a similar situation as Daniels. Now, they did go hard in the paint trying to get him receivers with Polk and Baker, but I mean, outside of Onwenu, that entire offensive line is in shambles. So I think May's going to have to show off his athleticism as well, but he does have upside. 25, Deshaun Watson with the Browns. They don't want to admit that this was the worst trade and worst contract in NFL history, and that's saying something considering Russell Wilson just happened. But Watson, he's injured, and also I feel like everything with Deshaun Watson is just hovering over the franchise, and the teammates aren't bought in. I feel like the locker room is fractured. I feel like Kevin Stefanski is sort of whatever. Like Deshaun Watson was basically just tossed into his lap and just like, here you go. But no, I feel like Watson, when he's healthy, has been bad. When he's been injured, he's been bad, and he's been injured a lot. And I think the Browns just have to eventually cut bait with this one. This ain't it anymore. 24, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson has a chance to really power up these rankings. And I do believe in Richardson. I think that Stan Steichen is going to have a great offense for him. I love the weapons that he has around him. And I think that Richardson is going to be box office, legitimately. And it's really unfortunate that he had his shoulder issue last year because he has a chance to be a stud. A 23 slinging Sam Darnold. So, I mean, Sam Darnold was the number 3 overall pick in 2018 back in the day for a reason. Finally surrounded by talent, finally surrounded by adults, and also he's only 26. I feel like he could finally start panning out some of that potential. 22, Trevor Lawrence. Speaking of a guy who hasn't panned out his potential, I mean, Trevor Lawrence... Remember Trevor Lawrence was the cat's ass? Like he was like the most pro-ready quarterbacks since Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck and John Elway. And he's just okay. Like, he loses Calvin Ridley, sure, but I mean Lawrence has just been eyed, which is kind of sad to me. 21. Michael Penix Jr. So the rookies are highlighted in yellow. So Penix Jr., I mean, one of the nice things about older prospects is that they have a lot more experience under their belt, and I feel like they are more ready to come into the league and just start right away, right? And yes, I mean, there's a significant learning curve going from college to the NFL, especially at quarterback. I mean, that playbook is a lot to digest, but I feel like Penix Jr. could step in with those weapons with the Falcons and just deal. Just deal immediately, man. 20. Got J.J. McCarthy. Yes, for all the reasons that Penix is high, J.J. McCarthy is high as well. Plus, I do like his moxie. I do like the fact that he is going to take what the defense gives him. I like that he does have mobility as well. So that's why he's pretty high in our quarterback rankings. 19, yeah, got to respect Caleb Williams. Now, Williams could cost you as many games as he wins. That's the problem. And I feel like that's a double-edged sword because, naturally rookie quarterbacks are going to be turnover prone, and Williams and also May, as you saw last year at USC and North Carolina respectively, like they did not have very good teams, and they had to play hero ball a lot, and you could see them pressing the envelope a lot, and it resulted in a lot of turnovers. So I think Williams will help you just as much as he hurts you, but we'll give him the slight nod there. 18, Kyler. So I want to believe in Kyler so bad. I mean, Kyler's my guy. Also, the South Korean connection, but I feel like he's super talented. He has a great arm. He's very good at using his mobility. I feel like he overcomes the height issues where Bryce Young maybe not so much. But you just get this feeling like he's never completely bought in. I don't know, man. Also, is there like a new Call of Duty coming out this fall? I don't know. 17. Dak Prescott. I don't believe in Dak. I feel like Dak is Kirk Cousins with better PR. I really do. Where I feel like with Dak, you're never going to win a Super Bowl because of Dak. I feel like he has to be surrounded by uber amount of talent, and I feel like he just makes idiotic mistakes at times, and I feel like he's just not the guy. I just really don't. 16, you got Baker. So it says a lot when Baker is above Dak, but I feel like Baker will I mean, the Buccaneers love Baker. And he's got that. He's funny. He's got that chip on his shoulder. He showed last year that he can be that dog, and got a long-term deal with the Buccaneers. He's going to be their guy by the Bay for a while. And Baker, he's the number 1 overall pick for a reason. Like he does have a winner's pedigree. And frankly, how many Browns fans would take Baker over Deshaun Watson right now? A lot. A lot. I think the Browns gave up on Baker too quickly. 15, Aaron Rodgers now. A lot of rankings have Rodgers in the top 7. No. Speaking of guys who aren't bought in, I don't know, like Rodgers just feels like he can just roll up and be like, fine. But he's coming off that Achilles. He's old as hell. The offensive line, I mean, they did get Fashanu and Moses, but overall it's like still have issues up front. So he's going to be under duress, and you hate to see it. 14. Jared Goff of the Lions. Now, Jared Goff is looking to get paid. I mean, Jared Goff might get $55-60 million per year after Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid. Now, Goff does operate very well with Ben Johnson. I do think that he is a system quarterback. I do not think that he is a quarterback that you win a Super Bowl because of. But I think that he does have a good chemistry with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And as long as Ben Johnson's there, I think their offense, their passing game is going to be very good. So, credit where it's due. 13, Geno. So, I know this is controversial, but I just like Geno. Like, Geno has enough don't give an F to his game where it can propel you. And again, this is not for building for the futures. This is just for 1 year. Like, who's going to give you the best chance? I think Geno is definitely going to do it. 12, you got Tua with the Dolphins, where, I mean, Tua's interesting because he put up insane passing numbers in a run-first offense with Mike McDaniel. He's got weapons all around him with the Dolphins, and he's been a proven winner going back to his time in Tuscaloosa. But you just don't know if you want to commit, and that's exactly where the Dolphins are at. Like, do you want to pay Tua $50-55 million per year? Like, is he going to be the guy? I don't know, man. But 11, Kirk Cousins with the Falcons. Even though, yes, us Vikings fans have had differences with Kurt, got to respect it. And hopefully, knocking on all the wood, that Achilles is good to go. Now, it is different than Rodgers because Kurt did pop his plant foot. So you do wonder about the velocity and accuracy. And also, is he going to be a little bit timid pushing off of that back foot? Especially since his was a midseason injury. Rodgers was the first game of the season, so he's had more time to recover. So I think that Kurt does have a chance with the Falcons, Zach Robinson, and those weapons. But I don't know, $100 million guaranteed. Was that a sound bet by Arthur Blank? Probably not. He might have to go to Home Depot and rebuild his franchise after this. 10, Jordan Love with the Packers. Now, I'm not ready to completely buy into Jordan Love, but he had some magical moments. But also last year, I mean, the first half of it, he looked like ass. Thank you. A lot of Packers fans were worried about it. It's like, oh. Don't worry. I think I like Jordan Love a lot. I liked him coming out of Utah State. And he is one of the more high variance players out there, but has arm, has attitude, has moxie, and also does not give an F. Number 9, Matthew Stafford of the Rams. I feel like Stafford, first off, Stafford should be a Hall of Famer. But also hasn't won a Super Bowl without Kevin O'Connell. Got him. But Stafford, I mean, for so many years with the Lions, and Stafford was on bad teams, even though he had Megatron, first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. Like Stafford, his toughness, he would try to drag this team along. Jim Schwartz out there, and they're just like, they just couldn't do it. But glad to see Stafford thriving. Number 8, Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. Now, this is going to be controversial because, I mean, why is Hurts so low? I feel like with losing Kelsey, I feel like the effectiveness of the tush-push sort of goes down. And I know, well, Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. Congratulations. I just don't think it's going to be as effective as it was with Jason Kelsey. And, I mean, let's face it, like, if you take away the tush-push from Hurts, like, half of his fantasy value goes down. And even though Hurts has a ton of weapons with Brown and Devontae, I still don't believe in him as a passer. Like, as a leader, yes. For all the intangible soft skills, I love me some Jalen Hurts. Like, the way that he handled losing her job to Tua back in Alabama, it really says a lot about his character and his team-first attitude. But, yeah, Not buying it. 7, Lamar, yes, MVP. But also, like, in crunch time, you need Lamar to make some throws, and he just can't do it. Like, I feel like Lamar, in a way, is falling into the Peyton Manning trap. Now, stylistically, obviously, completely different quarterbacks, but Peyton Manning, for a number of years, was so good in the regular season, and then playoffs until that breakout in 2006. Now, will the Ravens break out with Lamar eventually? It's possible. It's possible. But I don't know. Like, they should have beat the Chiefs, but they didn't, is what it is. 6. You got Brock Purdy with the Niners. Now, this is going to be controversial because some people will say Brock Purdy's too high. Some people say he's too low. And yes, Brock Purdy is definitely a product of the environment around him with the Niners. But also a lot of these quarterbacks are surrounded by talent. Now, Purdy is going to do basically what the Vikings want J.J. McCarthy to do, is distribute the football, be accurate, make a couple of plays with your legs when necessary, and basically just don't make mistakes that will cost the team. That's what Brock Purdy has done, and that's not terrible. It really isn't bad. Where people just hate on Purdy because he doesn't do it flashy. Like he isn't a guy turning no-name receivers into household names like Mahomes, right? Which is fine. It's fine, but I feel like Purdy is in a great spot with the Niners. Now, if you put Purdy on, I don't know, like if you put Purdy on the commies, would he be as good? No. Well, they got scared here. But if you put Purdy on the Patriots, would he be as good? No. But if you put Mahomes on the Patriots, would he be as good? Probably. That's the decent litmus test. 5, C.J. Stroud. Everything that C.J. Stroud does is impressive. Right, him being a leader, taking the bull by the horns, a pun intended, with the Texans. But Stroud not only was Offensive Rookie of the Year, he should have been a finalist for MVP, which he was. But the way that he won the division, the way that he and the Texans, won a playoff game, took the Browns to the woodshed. I think that C.J. Stroud is going to be a star in this league, and I think he's going to be very good for a very, very long time. Next up, number 4. Justin Herbert of the Chargers. Yeah, Herbert got hurt last year, and now he's with Harbaugh. It's going to be a run-first team. But more importantly, Herbert's going to have a damn good offensive line in front of him. And yes, I mean, you lost Keenan Allen, you lost Mike Williams. Your wide receiver 1 right now is Lad McConkey / Quentin Johnston. But Herbert's just a dog. And I respect the hell out of Justin Herbert. He's going to be solid for many years to come. 3, Josh Allen. So could you say that the Bills are rebuilding now? The jettisoned Stephon Diggs and Keon Coleman hopefully can step in as wide receiver 1. They also lost Gabe Davis, who didn't catch that ball against the Vikings 2 years ago. Not that I'm still bitter. But Allen, I mean, his arm, his upside, his leadership, certainly there. His legs are still one of the most dangerous things for a quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know, like, I feel like he's fighting the good fight with Buffalo, but could you say that Buffalo's Super Bowl window is closed, especially since Mahomes and Burrow and now Herbert and now C.J. Stroud and also Lamar Jackson, they ain't going away? It's very possible. I'll take Burrow at 2, and I know that if quarterback is an injury, sort of out of sight, out of mind, but Joe Burrow is a stone cold freaking assassin. He is. Like, I would take Joe Burrow in a heartbeat. And of course, Mahomes is 1. So that's it. That's the most accurate NFL quarterback power rankings in the world. And if you disagree with any one of the rankings, you were wrong. How does it feel? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.